Well, you know, and the new movies that are coming out and everything, and lots of controversy. I know I myself am completely upset. I found out just the other day through the grapevine that the new Tim Burton film animated feature due out in October called Frankenweenie is going to be a comedy.
A comedy?
I don't know how they could have done this.
Sacrilege.
I don't know what's wrong with people.
Awful. It's just
How
awful.
dare they? The audacity.
How could you even think of something
It's
so
shameful. What was that?
just profoundly not nice?
Turtles tooting.
Oh, yes, he's a gassy old turtle, isn't he?
Sure is.
They used to say that about me back in the old
Should
days.
make a giant pot of soup out of
I'm
it.
telling you, that guy, he's getting out of control over here.
Weather changer.
But, you know, I'm making a joke because everybody's upset that the new Dark Shadows movie is going to be a comedy, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm not. Well, they got a good cast in it.
Well,
Johnny Depp. Pretty-
so far I'm liking what I see. Looks like it'll be
Yeah.
fun. Of course, how they could, you know, I mean, they're dealing with such a serious subject as a family that has witches, vampires, werewolves, crooks, and mad scientists and all these things.
A lot of
You know,
pluses.
how could they make a comedy out of such serious stuff like that?
Well, this is one of these things where you have to see it and then judge it, which I fully intend to do. If
That's
I can
what they all say.
find some door to sneak in the theater and
But
get
now,
in free.
Mephisto, your
Yeah.
first appearance in 30 years. Why don't you tell us about a little bit of the fun of the golden years of Lenny's Inferno?
Boy, I don't. Well, we were talking a little earlier about some of the crazy things that used to happen. First of all, I gotta say, and I say this seriously, the voice in the box, who was a very good friend of mine, is no longer with us, and I miss him dearly. And let me tell you, he should be here. He really should be here. He would lift whatever I'm doing to another level just by his presence and being part of this. And I have to say that, I really do, because I've never had the opportunity to say that before. He hasn't been gone that long, but I truly miss him. He was he was a very good friend of mine and one of the most talented people I ever met. Now, having said that, as far as the voice in the box in reality is concerned, my reality,
Well put.
Thank you.
put.
Yes, very good, very good. Now I have to want to recap. You were inducted into the Horror Host Hall of Fame at Horror Hound Weekend in Columbus, Ohio. And how did that work out for you?
isn't that something? I mean, in a million years, I never would have seen that come. Well, actually, what I did was I was in disguise. I made myself up to look exactly like an ordinary person. And nobody knew who I really was.
That's the way to do it.
But I gotta say this, and you reminded me of it when we came in here. In lieu of, I guess, the little thing you're supposed to get, because those hadn't been finished on time or whatever, they gave us little certificate type things, and they were really nice. They really were. But they misspelled my name.
Oh, that's the kind of thing that happens to the
I'll tell you, I didn't know how to react to that, but the more I thought about it, I almost felt homesick. That was something that some of the old people that I truly miss, Beauregard, Charlene Mumford, what was it? Oh yeah, and it was in the frame upside down too. That was kind of nifty.
Oh, it was upside down in the
I
frame.
forgot about that.
Good going, Big Night.
But I was, and I said,
It's the thought that counts.
well,
Yeah.
the thing is that they had me pegged from what I remember. That was something they would have done to me on the show. So I felt it made me feel comfortably at home.
Well, you'd be surprised the abuse you can get from your help on a horror host show.
It's incredible. Every time you think they couldn't do anything more to you,
They'll
another
come up
height
with
is
something.
reached.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we needed the white balance earlier. That's all right. Yeah, it's good to see you again, Wolfgang.
Yeah, your
Wolfgang's
jokes,
here.
your jokes smell like this turtle next to me.
Wolfgang, put it there.
Hey, pleasure to meet you.
Somebody that's polite.
I
am so at home here.
I don't know you yet. No.
Well,
Give him time.
we give it about 10 minutes, and you'll probably be throwing things at me too.
That's right, eggs. No
Matter of
doubt.
fact, that wasn't you a little earlier over there with that skull that came this way.
no,
No, guy.
talk.
Must have been
Who could
somebody
that
that
have
looked
been?
exactly like you.
No, there's no one who looks this handsome.
Well, then
well,
they
you and Danny Love do have the same hairstyle.
You know, the ladies go crazy for the doctor. Send those bikini pictures!
They've been
No.
waiting for those bikini pictures.
Girls in bikinis.
Well, Maliva's gonna bust out her leather bikini next week for horror
she'll
party.
bust out
Beach.
of it, all right.
You bust me up all the time.
Yeah.
So great to you were inducted. And of course, I recognized you. I had to set up this riveting interview.
You did. You knew who I was, and that was kind of neat. You were the only one though. Well, Rich Peterson, who goes by another name.
Oh, he will be visiting us soon too.
He
I
was the
believe.
one who was responsible for having me inducted, and he knew who I was too. But I had known him in another. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember what it was. So never mind. I can't remember what it was. But he knew who I was. And I want to thank Rich, because without his help, I never would have had my name spelled wrong in a frame upside down. And I appreciate it.
That's an honor.
I thought it was. Until they told me.
I heard that you like that.
Well, they kept it. It's not an honor. It's not an honor. Yes, it is. Shut up.
The
Leave
funny
me alone.
thing is, your name is Joe Smith.
Well, it was for a while there.
Joe, I had nothing to do with that.
First thing that came to my mind when they said, "What's your name, soldier?" And he was shining a flashlight in my face, and he had manacles and a big star on his uniform.
Whoa.
Joe the Smith. Well, they didn't buy it, so never mind.
Anyway, now with all these new horror hosts coming up every day, left and right, you have got any words of advice for horror hosts everywhere out there in our viewing audience?
Get a day job.
If you do anything like the way we used to do it back 30 years ago, get insurance, and a lot of it. You can't have enough health insurance. Don't even think about life insurance. They're going to give you any anyway.
No?
No, that's my advice. Be very careful, and be very careful who you associate with, because there are people that, like I said, it's how many times I was ground zero when the pie throwing started. They're out to get you. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're out to get you.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
seems like it to me. Anyway.
You'll have a good time if you have a week to heal between shows.
That's about how it goes here. Anyway, we want to give a good shout out to TerrorDaves.com. That's the Terror Dave.
TerrorDaves.com! Was that a good shout out?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
very
very
good shout
good
out. I think
shout
they'll
out.
like that. Because 2 Daves are better than 1. And they do a good job with their weekly horror host report, which you've been probably watching us on that report, and some pictures and whatnot. It's going to be a big update. They are eagerly waiting for the what happened today here on 4/20/12.
Oh,
I wish I knew what any of that meant.
Yeah, it's going to be.
That was just
We're approaching
wonderful. It's
420
code.
at 420.
That's code, right? Because
I
I
don't
didn't
know, some
understand
kind
a
of
word
code.
of it. But then it's a problem I have.
That's okay.
TerrorDaves.com!
Oh, see? Once you wind them up, you get them going. All right. I hope you enjoyed our little YouTube broadcast. There is an exciting episode of Crimson Theater starring Mephisto and, of course, his alter ego in the upcoming, soon-to-be-released documentary, Cheesy Hosts from the Cheesy... Cheesy Hosts from the Cheesy State, the history of horror hosts in Wisconsin. That sounds good, doesn't it?
It
If
does.
you say so, it sounds good to me.
Well, thank you. There'll be an extra 20 in the lunchbox next time you come on the show.
I can pay some debts. Get off my
If
back,
you can
you
pay debts
people.
as a horror host, you're doing pretty good.
You people.
All right, ghoulies, check us out next time. Hope you enjoyed this Cheesy Hosts from the Cheesy State, the history of horror hosts in Wisconsin. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Where would we be without these people? Huh? Our late night babysitters in many instances, taking care of us all, turning us on to cool horror movies, and kicking out the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Whether it be Dr. Cadaverino, Toulouse No Neck, or Mephisto, everyone really, really should appreciate these fine artists and their contribution to us all.
Yes.
Late night horrific babysitters, as they were called, and gave many us a inspiration to carry on the tradition of horror hosts here in Wisconsin. Many more are springing up right and left, most of them too arrogant to be on this documentary, but we'll see. You never know. Something
Never
could
know.
change after the epilogue of tonight's wonderful documentary.
Yes.
Arrogance and horror hosting should not go together. Those are my final words. Thanks for joining us for Cheesy Hosts from the Cheesy State, the horror history of horror hosts in Wisconsin. Now that's pretty good. Wasn't inspired.
The ghouls are waiting, it's late at night. The doctor's on the TV to give them a fright. The movies are cheesy and so's the host. Look out, honey, here's 13 ghosts. And Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. There's the monster, eater. And Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, ghoulies, come on! It's showtime, ghoulies. My fingers are burning. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Have a horrifying week, ghoulies. Thanks for coming.
Love you, dearest.